Good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Emily Vacher. Emily joined Facebook in 2011 and is currently Trust and Safety Manager with Facebook's security team. Emily is responsible for law enforcement outreach, global safety initiatives, safety education, and security policy matters. She is currently focusing on Facebook's Amber Alert program and child safety issues. Emily works extensively with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and serves as a member of NCMEC's Team Adam Project Alert and NCMEC's Law Enforcement Industry Liaison Committee. Before she joined Facebook, Emily was a special agent with the FBI for more than a decade, leading a broad range of federal investigations. Emily holds a BS in psychology from Cornell, an MS and MPA from Syracuse University, Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs, and a JD from Syracuse University College of Law. Please help me welcome Emily Vacher.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. Being here this morning is an absolute honor and privilege. It was 13 years ago that I first sat in this audience. I was an FBI agent newly assigned to work crimes against children, and this conference was my first introduction to the incredible community of people who are committed to protecting the world's most valuable resource, our children. I remember walking through the halls of this event and in every session just being so impressed and sometimes overwhelmed. I was completely new to using the concept of technology to solve crimes. I didn't yet have the vocabulary or the understanding that I needed. What was an IP address? Where do you find a MAC address? And what does an onion have to do with any of this? But the people here, they brought me in. They provided me with the tools that I needed, and I became a member of this very special community. This is something that has not changed over the years, and neither has my respect and admiration for the people sitting in this audience. But 13 years later, a lot of other things have changed. And when it comes to technology, the pace of this change has been dizzying. One platform where I didn't spend time 13 years ago when I first started working CACC cases was Facebook. Why? Because Facebook didn't exist yet. The first time I attended this conference, Mark Zuckerberg was still in high school. If he wasn't such an awesome boss, I would say that would be kind of an embarrassing reminder of my age. Keeping kids safe online was something that we only used to worry about when they sat down in front of the family's one desktop computer. Now, many kids carry a supercomputer in their pocket, or more likely right in their hands. And it's not just a phone. It's a GPS, a camera, a video player, and a device that can be used to communicate with people all over the world. The average smartphone today is 100,000 times faster than the computer aboard Apollo 11, the space flight that took humans to the moon. This is literally stuff of science fiction. And today we're seeing the rise of truly global communities. And as the internet grows, online communities are going to grow with it. In the year 2000, 1 billion people used the internet. Today, it's 3 billion. More and more content is being shared online every year. There are more than 295 exabytes of data in the world. That's more pieces of data than there are grains of sand on the beaches in the world. Every single day, billions of photos, videos, and messages are shared. And the types of content that people are sharing are getting richer year after year. We've gone from the 90s internet that was mostly lines of text to a world that's filled with photos, videos, apps, and games. And in the future, people are going to share and connect in ways that are even richer and more immersive through technologies like augmented and virtual reality. And that's the biggest issue that we have to face today. Science fiction is becoming science fact. And because of that, technology is doing something pretty amazing. Technology is disrupting society. Communities, industries, and organizations all over the world are being transformed by the way that people are connecting with one another and by the way that they're using information. Now, for the most part, this disruption has been positive. Most of us would rather live with the internet than without, and technology undeniably helps bring us closer to the people and the things that we care about. But disruption can also have costs. Technology is a tool, and just like all tools, it can be used for good as well as for evil. And this community, perhaps more than any other, has seen what this looks like. And we need to learn how to deal with these challenges. We need to evolve so that we can stay ahead. And we don't just want to respond to change. We need to lead it. We need to work smarter and more efficiently, and in the process, we will save more lives and protect more children. There are three big things we can focus on as members of the child safety community: embracing technology, forming critical partnerships, and using social media to build relationships. First, we need to be pioneers in the way that we use technology in our organization. During my years at the FBI, I saw them go from using these archaic communication device things called teletype machines to using fax machines, and then fax to email, then to instant messaging and video chat. We changed the way that we worked, and we made things better. But progress was uneven, and not everybody was on board with it. On my first day in the field as an agent, I was in my training agent's car, and he pulled out this giant, messy stack of 3x5 index cards from his visor. And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "It's my calendar and my Rolodex." And I pulled out one of these, and I said, "This is mine." He was totally unimpressed. He let me know that these things would never catch on, and he threw in that the internet was a fad. Now, that's an attitude I still see in many different organizations, both in the public and private sectors. If people have a setup they like, even when offered something better, they say, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," or "This is the way that it is because this is the way that it always was." Meanwhile, at Facebook, we have a very different motto. We say, "Move fast and break things." As disruption moves faster and faster, and if you're only looking to make a change at the moment something breaks, you are going to get left behind. We need to constantly retool the way that we think and the way that we work. One of the biggest technologies that law enforcement is still missing out on is social media. More than 70% of law enforcement officers believe that social media can help them solve cases more quickly. But many investigators can't even access these services from their computers at work. They have badges and guns, but are prohibited from using the internet by their agencies. We've got to fix this. Technology only changes things if you're willing to change with it. So we've got to innovate in the way that we run our organizations and embrace social, mobile, and all the tools that are available to us today. But we don't have to do it alone, and this brings me to my second point. All of the biggest innovations today are done through partnerships across and between child protection agencies, industry, domestic and international law enforcement agencies, and the entire child safety community. We've often heard the phrase, "It takes a village to raise a child." Well, it also takes a village to protect one. One example where we've seen ideal partnerships between industry, law enforcement, and NCMEC is with the distribution of Amber Alerts. Companies like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Waze, Time Warner Cable, and others have partnered with NCMEC to become secondary distributors of Amber Alerts. As NCMEC says, Amber Alerts work. We've seen this firsthand at Facebook with the successful recovery of a 2-year-old boy in April 2015. He was recognized and safely returned to his family as a direct result of a Facebook Amber Alert. Quickly putting life-saving information regarding a missing child into the hands of the child's community is what makes the difference. Technology has changed Amber Alerts. It gets the right information to the right people at the right time. In the beginning, this information was shared weeks or months after the disappearance on the back of a milk carton. Look how far technology has taken us, and look at the difference it's made in the lives of abducted children and their families. To date, 767 children have been returned home safely because of the technology-facilitated distribution of Amber Alerts. Microsoft's PhotoDNA is another shining example of successful partnerships. PhotoDNA has changed the way that we can disrupt in the trading and trafficking of child exploitation images. The technology allows any electronic service provider to efficiently identify known images of child exploitation material, so this material can be quickly removed and a cyber tip can be sent to NCMEC. This project is one of the biggest successes of the Tech Coalition, a partnership between law enforcement, industry, and child safety organizations that are working together to tackle some of the most challenging issues facing our society today. In 2014, NCMEC received approximately 1.1 million reports. As of today, they're on track to receive 4 million reports this year. No doubt this is a lot of work for everyone, but at the end of the day, it means that more bad guys will face justice and more children will be protected. When you think about innovating and embracing the latest tools, don't let the scale of the challenges get in your way. Don't consider yourself alone. We all want the same thing, to protect children. We are all part of a single community and a single village. Finally, don't just think about technology as the tools you might use to solve a case. Think about how you can use technology to build relationships, to engage with your communities, and to humanize your people and your organizations. That's really important stuff, too. That's how we can build public trust, how we can build bonds with the people who hopefully will become our advocates and our fans. It is no secret that police officers have it tough these days. There are communities where cops are seen not as those who protect, but as adversaries. You can use technology to help change this perception. This year, on National Donut Day, the Palo Alto Police Department posted a photo of a donut covered with sprinkles and a big bite taken out of the side with the caption, "Well, this is awkward." The Isles of Scilly Police Force in the UK has become internet famous just by posting hilarious and self-deprecating reports from their very uneventful community. Their Facebook page now has nearly 50,000 likes, while their community has barely 2,000 residents. And who can forget the Dover, Delaware police officers' incredible rendition of Taylor Swift's "Shake It Off." 400,000 YouTube videos in the first 24 hours and nearly 37 million to date. In one video, he humanized an entire police department. If you haven't seen it yet, please do yourselves a favor, watch it. Very impressive stuff. And just as importantly, police forces all over the world are using social media to share information that is critical to public safety, to seek tips from their communities, which helps them solve crimes. Innovation isn't just about using new tools, it's about creating new connections with people. This is easy stuff to do, and it's an opportunity open to all of us. In the old days, community policing was only about physically spending time with people in the community to build relationships. One of those corners of the community is the part that exists online. And this is a very important place, and police can use social media to make connections, share critically important information, make new friends, and potentially save a life. So that's how I see the state of the industry today and the big challenges and opportunities for all of us. Technology is changing fast, and the world is changing with it. One thing's for sure. It's still going to take a pretty special sort of person to go out there and stand up for and protect our kids. Some things never change. There's a story I heard many years ago when I first started working CAC matters and sometimes became frustrated by the sheer volume of cases. This story helped bring some calm and some perspective. A man walked down to a beach where hundreds of starfish had washed up on the shore overnight. He saw a boy standing there throwing the starfish into the ocean one at a time. "Why are you doing that?" asked the man. "You can't save them all. There are too many. Why save that one?" The boy kept on working, and he explained that it was worth the effort to help this one. And so the man joined the boy in throwing the starfish back into the ocean one by one. This community is doing something really special. You're standing at the edge of an ocean at a time when the waves of change are washing higher and higher, and all of you are facing the challenge head-on and are helping to throw a starfish back into the ocean one at a time. This is a community that has the strength, the compassion, and the resolve to navigate these tough times and to continue saving lives. Technology may help us to change the future, but to be truly successful, we must adapt and accept new advances. We must form critical partnerships, and we must use tools like social media to connect with the people and the things that we care about. You are all my heroes, and thank you for inspiring all of us every single day. Thank you.